Welcome back to this Spiked and Psyched podcast. This is episode 10. We're your hosts. I'm Val Constein,
I'm Kyle, the tech guy
the
today.
tech guy. That's true. And today's a really exciting day. We actually have our second guest ever on the pod, Tayler Peavey, Tuttle. Taylor was a transfer to the CU after her freshman year from Georgia, and she had a great performance throughout her time at CU. In Taylor and my 5th year at CU, we helped our cross-country team win the national title, and both were All-Americans. After graduation, Taylor had some injuries, some recoveries, she ran on the roads, she did some gravel biking, and most recently, she's done some trail racing. She's currently the back-to-back champion at the Moab Half Marathon, and in her most recent victory, she set a new course record for women. Huge congrats, and welcome to the podcast, Taylor.
Thanks, Val. Happy to be here.
Val was stressing about that intro.
I was, because I was like, I know this girl super, super well, and so I can't screw this one up. But yeah, it's cool. It's great to have you on the pod. Thank you so much for coming.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
I love the name, I have to say. Spiked and Psyched.
I know. Homage to CU, obviously.
Yeah.
One of the questions I actually had to start off the pod was, you transferred from Georgia to CU, and you're from Georgia. So, like, NCAA's just happened. We're both, like, reminiscing about our time in college. What were some of the things where you realized when you were at Georgia that maybe it was time for a change?
Yeah, so, spent my freshman year at the University of Georgia. Immediately loved the city. Athens is awesome. Loved the team, like made some really close friends there. Still really close with them today. But I came into that team kind of immediately at the front of the pack and realized like pretty early on in cross, like I need to kind of decide, do I want to have this career where I'm at the front of the pack here and we're more, doing our best to just make the national meet? Or do I want to go somewhere where I'm really going to be pushed and the culture is supporting a team trying to compete at the national level? And I think that was kind of my mindset. And then also I think when you're 17 years old in high school, kind of deciding, which factors are important to you as you're being recruited, as you're looking at schools, like you don't really know what you want. Like it's kind of hard to put yourself in your shoes a year later. I would say my first couple months in college, I also started to realize what's important to me from, an overall lifestyle standpoint, a team community standpoint, a team culture standpoint. And I decided I wanted to be somewhere where I was surrounded by people who were better than me, and people who were really raising the bar. So I had looked at CU before, so I knew it was kind of in the back of my head, and I'd been to Boulder a couple times. So it kind of just started to click for me, like that's somewhere I want to be. That's the team I want to be around. And after meeting with the coaches again, I was like, okay, I think that's the move for me.
I just remember one of our first times actually running together, we ran Gold Hill.
Oh, yeah. That was my like first long run in Boulder. I've been to Boulder for like 5 days. Like, let's go to 8,000 feet.
Yeah, and so it was my first time meeting Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think that. Did you do an official visit or?
I did, but it was late in the spring, and I think I only met. I think I remember like maybe going to brunch with Caitlin and Mackenzie, but I think some other folks were like in and out of town because it was like school was pretty much over.
Yeah, because I hadn't met you before, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, there's this girl from Georgia, and she's gonna run with you, Val, up Gold Hill." And I just remember thinking like, this is insane. But then you did great. Like we were just like chatting, just having a great time. And I was like, wow, this girl is really, really good. She's going to fit in well here.
Yeah. I think I was like fighting for my life at the end of that.
Oh, really?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, you were putting on a great show. I was like, wow, she's like not even sweating.
I think great. I was just so happy to have like you to hang on to.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like you can survive.
Yeah. But that's definitely throwing you to the bulbs. Like, okay, first long run in Boulder, you're going to go sprint up Gold Hill.
Yeah, I remember that first, because that climb out of town, that's like 2 miles in or something. And it's like, I don't know, like a 10-minute climb. And I remember like tasting blood. I never felt like this climbing.
That's like the altitude probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that climbs, I mean, it's steady, but it's nothing crazy. But like I wasn't used to 5,000 feet, so I certainly wasn't used to 8,000 feet. I was like,
And it gets all the way up to like 11,000 feet, I think, at the top. Obviously, we didn't. Make
We
it
didn't,
to the
yeah.
top,
But we
but
probably did 10 miles.
I think we did. I think
Yeah.
we did 10 miles that day. And like, I had just
That was
finished up
enough.
summer classes. I was exhausted. You're just like coming from Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was so crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's so funny. And then thinking about like the NCAA, like we both had our ups and downs in college. And then to be able to like pull together and make that national championship happen. I mean, watching nationals today, NC State women won,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of women in the top 40,
Mhm.
just like us.
Yeah. I think they were like similarly deep, I would say.
I think they were similarly deep. And it's actually funny because I think their sixth woman was Angelina Napoleon, and she's a steeplechaser.
Oh, there you go.
And I was the sixth woman.
There you go.
So yeah. Didn't you finish like 25th?
I think
24th?
24th. Yeah.
Yeah, 24th.
Yeah.
I remember in the last 2K, Taylor and I were like racing right next to each other the whole time.
Which we did all season.
Which we
That
did.
was the best.
Yeah, all season.
Yeah.
And then in the last 2K, Taylor just had this like amazing surge and just really like went for it. And it took everything in my power to like try to stay with her. And then in the last 400, Taylor was just gone, like sprinting up the hill in Madison. It was crazy.
I think I remember seeing Heather with like 300 to go, which is that like uphill. And she was just like losing her mind, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think, unless someone died up there, I think we're doing pretty well. Because I think I'm like fifth. I was like, I think we're doing fine.
That was such a crazy day.
Yeah.
When you woke up and there was snow on the ground, what were you thinking?
Oh, I was stoked. I thought about that. We did a track, like long threshold on the track in the pouring snow a month earlier. And I was like, we're so prepared for this. Like we run, we'd run on like so many like tough days. And like, I feel like that was a big part of our cross country training at the time, was like showing up in hard conditions and being prepared. And yeah, I remember Mark saying like, the gun's gonna go off and people are gonna panic because there's snow on the ground, and people did, like people falling
and
like,
screaming.
and screaming, and I was like, be calm, like we've done this, we're fine. So yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I think that year was the record for the lowest score. I'm sure it's probably still is.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know
After
what it
today,
was.
I'm not sure.
No, but you guys, what were you, like 26th or something at national? No, you were the fifth person.
Yeah, I was 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
She was the
That's
fifth woman. And
yeah,
she was
that's pretty
24.
insane.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think.
crazy.
I think the.
Well, we had 6 because you were like 30th.
I was 30th.
It's 6 in the top 30. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt that's been beat. I mean, that wasn't that long ago. It was only. Well, I guess it is. It's kind of crazy. It's 8 years ago.
Yeah, at this point, it is that long ago. Which
Like
is
this time of year, I always think about it. I'm like, oh man, it's
like
been
one more year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. These kids, they just keep looking like they're younger and younger. Like the kids on the team now, it's like, what are they saying? 6, 7? Like, what's going on?
Oh Jesus.
I remember, I don't know if you felt this way, but my 5th year, I was very happy I took a 5th year and enjoyed it so much. And I think it gives you this perspective of like reflecting on your time. And like, I felt a lot of gratitude that season. But by the end of that spring, I was like,
Get me out
I
of
think
here.
I'm a little old to like, be on this
Yeah.
team. So you're like 17-year-olds. You're like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
That's
yeah.
how I felt. I like couldn't get out of there like soon enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
like my 5th year. I think Gunnison also probably does that to people, but
Small.
it's not Boulder. But
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy now to think that so many people, because of COVID, that the 6th and 7th years were
Yeah.
really common.
Yeah. That's kind of tapering off now, maybe,
True.
since we're like exiting the COVID era. Yeah. I mean, you can,
There's still people who have COVID 6 because it's,
yeah. Yeah.
you know,
And if you redshirt and if you get like a medical, you can like
Yep.
generally get a 6. So I think it's just more common too.
it's so crazy.
Yeah. Like might as well, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
there's a lot. I mean, yeah, and there's a lot more money too.
I know with NIL
Yeah.
and stuff too, where a lot of these kids, like, they might not get contracts out of college, but in college they have NILs.
Yeah. And give yourself another year to develop and see
Yeah.
what you can do.
Yeah, well, then it also gives you a better chance at a contract after college too. We were talking about that earlier today.
We were, yeah, because there's, athletes always have to make that call. Like maybe it's their 5th year and they could maybe argue to get a medical 6th.
Or
And-
just one season even. It doesn't need to
Right.
be the whole year.
And it's like maybe they already have NIL deals and it's like, okay, well, if you're maybe not good enough to get like a really good contract out of college, like if you're not a national champion or like, in the top 3, which is obviously super hard to do right now,
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, when you graduate, like that NIL deal might not turn into a real contract.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you kind of have to weigh your risks.
Yeah. Give yourself time if you can, maybe.
Well, I think about this is totally not running related. Like Shador Sanders had, I guess, one more year if he wanted it, like
Yep.
a six,
Oh, wow, 6.
and he obviously didn't take that, but
Do you-
then didn't get drafted by the
I
NFL.
think both him and maybe Travis Hunter like were in that situation. It worked out for Travis Hunter.
Sure.
Yeah, but Shador, it didn't work out nearly as
It
well. He
might
was
have been-
definitely been making more at CU for
Yeah.
one more year, like with how big his
Interesting.
NIL deals were. But yeah, that's like a whole thing that like kids have to consider now. Whereas like in college, it was just you either had a scholarship of like some percentage or not at all.
Well, I remember in college, I don't know if you ever did like a turkey trot or something, but like I did a couple races back home in Vail, and I would like maybe get an age group, whatever, win or something, and they would be like, "Oh, the prize is $500," and I'd always have to like deny it.
Nice turkey trot prize. I got a pie one time. I did take it.
You
so
did?
hopefully that was okay.
NCAA violation. No, but that was like a serious thing. Like it was like, but like I'd win like a trail race or whatever back home, and the prize would be $500, and I'd have to turn it down.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I can't accept the prize money because it's an NCAA violation. And now it's like these kids are, they can accept whatever they want.
It's a crazy time to be like
Yeah.
in
changed a
college.
lot. I think it's like like looking back at our experience, I'm like, it would have been really nice to have some of those opportunities. But I think it's kind of this can of worms that like I think we all knew it was going to be this way too. It's
Mhm.
like once it's opened, it's like it can go a little bit too far, and
Yep.
it's like inevitably going to change the landscape. And I think it is right now. And it's like, yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like that's where we're at, and that's why it's so different, I think.
Totally. It's
I-
super different.
I think we're seeing. We were talking about it right before we started the pod, but I think we're seeing the like growing pains of going from just like a pure like you're either on a scholarship or not to like basically now you have pro athletes with just maybe kids on scholarship or no scholarship or just walk-ons, and also like how it's like fundamentally changing the competitive landscape too.
Totally. I mean,
Yeah.
Doris is basically the NCAA champion from today. Doris is a full-time, she's a pro for
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And she's, she runs at world championships. She represents Kenya at world championships. And Jane Hendegren is a pro as well. Like she has a very healthy Nike NIL deal as well. And so it's no surprise that probably two of the biggest NIL deals for women.
Well, we don't know
Or
for
one
sure,
and
but
two.
probably. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, Doris got fifth at world championships. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
she's legit.
You
And
would
Jane,
hope, honestly, yeah.
well, right. You would
They're
hope
getting
that
what
they would.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. Like it's like no surprise that, two really good NIL people were the two people that were battling it out at the front today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, it's like really changing the level that kids coming out of high school need to be at. And so it's now, like, I think a lot of programs are shifting away from the developmental mentality. Like, I would say CU in the past was somewhat a developmental program. Like, we obviously got great recruits, but we also had kids. Like, I came in and I was told, you're going to be great someday.
Mhm.
Like, you're not going to be an All-American tomorrow, but
Mhm.
like, we're going to help you get there. And it's like with NIL and with where the money's going and with the transfer portal too.
Yeah.
It's like I think a lot of programs like can't afford to do that. And that to me, like, I don't know that it's like a right or wrong. It's just like, as someone who was a developmental athlete, like that's kind of a bummer to see, but it's like, I don't know how you change it. I don't know how you like put this back in the box. And so now I think it's putting pressure on kids in high school to train like collegiates, train like semi-professionals so that they can put themselves in a place to be recruited and to get NIL money. And then it's like, is that inherently bad? I don't think so. But where does that put them when they're 25?
Right.
That's the thing I think that is so insane is imagine like I've tried to put myself back in college, and obviously you guys were way better runners than I was, but I try to think back if I was just like, let's just say making 20 grand and just running in college, I would have been like, I'm filthy rich, but also not. I don't think I also would have had like the understanding of like the value of that money versus like, like fun fact, we all used to work for the same company, but like, which we should talk about because that place is a fever dream. But uh, I think it's just, I don't know. Like, I wonder how these kids are going to like, when money like that, when you're so talented, potentially, not saying they don't work hard. I definitely think they work hard, but I think that could change your outlook on money and like how hard it is to earn money. Cause I think all of us in this room, like making money after college is not easy, at least at the start. And I don't know. So that's what I think about is like, how does that change your like mindset around making money, and like does it affect your like future work ethic if if you're making a bunch of money and then maybe your running doesn't work out and that money goes away, like what happens?
I know. Yeah. I mean, especially I guess you're kind of in a similar position too, like graduating from college. I mean, it was hard to pay for CU, right? And luckily I had a scholarship. I'm sure you did as well. But if that wasn't the case, it would have been really hard. Always working in the summer, working over winter break, and then graduating, no running contract in sight, and having to just be like, I love this so much that I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah. And like kind of work your work life around like I took a job that I wasn't thrilled about out of college, but I was like, this is keeping me in Boulder. Like
Mhm.
if I don't do something to pay for me here, I'm gonna go back home.
Yeah.
And I was like, my running dreams are here. Yeah.
Good thing you stayed because then you
Yeah.
met Bobby. We should talk about our first jobs out of college and how for all of us it was pretty much mountain aviation.
That was my second.
Oh, it was
I
your
mean,
What was the first job?
I was working at a private swim and tennis club. It's actually
Oh, I
over
remember
here.
this.
Yeah. I worked there in the summers,
Right.
like from the time I moved here, and there was a full-time position opening up when I like right when I graduated, and I was kind of bummed because it was like
It was at the Meadows, right?
is the Meadows.
Yeah, that's right.
It was like my 5th year, like everyone's having like this fun free summer. Monday after I graduated, I was like showing up to work my full-time job, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad.
Yeah.
But it was great, amazing people there. Like I stayed couple years after that. And it was pretty flexible training, which was nice.
And there
Great
was a
people.
pool, obviously, which was
Yeah, there's a pool. Yeah, like
helpful.
decent facilities. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I grew out of it, obviously, but it worked. It was great. It kept me here. So,
Yeah.
and then I made my way to Mountain, and that was the most chaotic chapter probably of all of our working lives.
Oh my
Oh
I
gosh.
don't know what you
God.
guys think.
Mountain aviation doesn't exist anymore.
Well, so for some background, Mountain Aviation was it was the first place I worked out of college.
Me too.
Was it? No, you had. Oh no, yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, geez. Yeah, it was a private aviation like charter business. I worked there first, and then I actually hired Val as a concierge
Yeah.
because Val really needed a job,
Really needed a job.
and I somehow like started managing the concierge position, which was
Because you were in sales.
yeah, it was completely
But
insane.
then-
It was completely insane. But I was like, literally, my boss at the time was like, "We need someone cute at the front desk," and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, "This is a terrible idea." But Val needed a job, and
Yeah.
I think he actually, yeah. Anyways, then I hired, then I ended up hiring my girlfriend at the time, Val. That ended up working out fine, relatively.
Yeah. It was fine.
And then, what did you started in 2020?
I think 2021.
Because I
Okay.
had left. I had just left.
There was still some like COVID vibes, but it was
Yeah.
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 And it was kind of random timing. Like I was in a place where I was like, I'd been dealing with some injuries, and I was like kind of outgrown my time at the Meadows, and I was like, I'm a little frustrated on the running side. I'm ready to like, because it's when you have a setup at work that's like works around training, it's hard to leave that because you're
Mhm.
like there are a lot of setups that don't work great. But I was like, I'm in a place with running right now where it's not working great. Like I'm still chipping away, but like I'm okay with taking a step towards doing something that may not be great for running, which I will say Mountain was okay. Like it worked out okay.
Yeah.
But and then I think I had barely started updating my resume, and I think you reached out and you were like, "Are you looking for a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah. Well, I think Val told me about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I think Taylor's ready for a career because the problem is like I think if because you were willing to take kind of a step back from running and take more of a step into a career, I think it was a perfect fit. Because if you were still like, I want to be training, 10 hours, 15 hours a week, like I really want to, keep going hard at the running, it would have been really hard to do the job that you did at Mountain.
Yeah, I will say, like, and this is kind of where I saw things going. It was like, health will come, and then I'll figure out how to work my way around it.
Yeah.
And it was, so my schedule, I don't remember what yours was. My schedule was 4 days on, 4 days off.
Yeah.
So I worked 4 10s. And 4 days off is a lot.
It is.
And it's nice. But it's obvious, like, because of that, it's sort of inflexible outside of that situation. And, like, a lot of every holiday.
Yeah, there was no like time off.
No time.
There was never like, oh, it's whatever. Aviation is like a
Christmas.
24-hour.
In fact, if it is Christmas,
It's
like,
worse.
4 times as bad. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah, well, hold on. So you were an aircraft scheduler. So I worked in sales. You worked in aircraft scheduling. So we basically worked together, like very closely.
Yeah, my position kind of lived between sales and like flight ops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember at first, I think maybe it was like Mackenzie or something, like told us, oh, she's like really overwhelmed. And I was like, oh yeah, she'll be fine though. Like she'll get it. And then you like became like a total monster. And yeah, everyone was like, Taylor's the shit.
It's such a funny, like, unique. I don't know. Like, I don't know that anything I did there will ever translate out of there.
No, I agree.
So
It's such a it's like straight up a
funny.
fever dream.
It really is. That's the best way.
I would never go back, but I also have like such fond memories.
I do too. Like, I think I've erased a lot of the trauma.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, good memories.
There was a
but
lot of trauma.
A lot of trauma bonding. Like, you got really close. But with the 4 on 4 off, it's like I think you could be strategic about training.
Yep.
And I was, but I also look back and I think there's like a missed opportunity to like I always thought about doing like a rolling 8-day training schedule to fit with that. And I wish I would have tried that, but I was kind of stuck in the mode of like still training with our like, post-collegiate group and trying to show up when I could and not wanting to like shift my stuff too much. So it would end up being, if I had a long run on a work day, like that's going to start at 5:45. And then it's like, I mean, it was like you couldn't leave your computer for more than 60 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a flexible go for your double. It's like, no. Like,
No, yeah. You were like super locked in.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like that's the thing I always told Val is if you were really diligent, you could totally train around it. You just had to be like you'd really stick to your schedule. And I just didn't because I was just like at the time like a hardo work dude, douchebag.
If you don't put those boundaries up initially, then everyone expects that you're boundaryless.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that was a problem with Kyle. Leave her. Rocket is just licking Taylor's head.
I love it.
But I think that was a problem with Kyle is he was so interested in being like the new guy who worked really hard that he didn't set those boundaries. And so it would be like, I remember one time very vividly, I think it was like a weekend or something. And I was like, I had left Mountain and I was working at CU at the time. And I was like, oh, I need to do my run. Do you want to come with me? And he was like, yeah, sure. Just let me finish this thing for work. And I was like, well, I don't have time. So I'm just going to like do some laps around like the apartment complex. And then when you're ready, join me. And he was like, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I did laps for my whole run because Kyle didn't join me for the whole like 45 minutes to an hour that I was running. And then I came back and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like you said you were going to join me. And Kyle was like, oh, like some plane broke. I had to whatever. Yeah, they do be breaking.
Yeah, airplanes break a lot more than people might realize.
I will say, even though your guys' jobs didn't really transfer well to anything else, my job definitely was super, super helpful. Like working like the front desk I was basically an office manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for me, like having that office management skill was actually like pretty useful in some other jobs that I took.
Yeah. I think I'm sure for you too with sales, like I was able to kind of like back up a little bit and see what was translatable. And
yeah,
I mean, I was able to pitch that as I was applying for jobs in a completely different industry. So I was like, kind of had to. But like the actual, like the specifics of it, it's like even trying to explain that, like when I would explain that to people in interviews, they're like, what? I'm sorry, I don't follow. Like, what's a floating fleet? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. Did you know airplanes break a lot?
Yeah.
What? Airplanes break a lot.
Well, and aviation is like an industry where most people just never leave it. I feel like, and then you're just like so locked in. And I was like, at least in sales, if you really wanted to like be like a really good sales guy. It was like just like why, okay, like sign away your life.
Yeah, because
And
you were like constantly building those relationships.
oh yeah, it was cool.
He still gets calls.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I do.
I think I got texts for like up to a year.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, do I need to change my number?
Well, that's the
I
thing.
know.
Like all these people,
Jesus.
wow, Kyle.
Sorry.
All these
It's
people
rocket.
just they stay in the industry. But I mean, it's interesting to say that because even like obviously when Kyle was working in sales, the margins were crazy, and he's selling like millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff, and even if the commission is tiny, it still adds up. And so he was doing really well under the aviation sales, but then when the writing was on the wall and he was like, I got to get out of this,
Well, so that's
he
interesting.
took like a huge pay cut to then try to get into tech. And now that he's in tech, I feel like since it's a lot more mainstream.
Yeah, it's a lot better balance, but it's also a totally different industry where it's like no one in like tech sales or even in tech in general works on the weekends.
Or like overnight.
Yeah,
Like
it's
over the holiday.
You're not waiting for like a golf tournament to finish up to see who needs a plane home.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
an hour.
No, totally.
I think the first time like the Masters weekend came around and I wasn't working at Mountain, I was like, had PTSD.
I
was
know.
like, oh God, I can actually enjoy this. Oh my
Yeah, it
God.
was always funny. Like around the holidays, like my family would ask me, like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working." Like,
Yeah,
and they're
that
like,
was hard.
"On Christmas?" I'm like, "Yes."
I think this is my last Christmas that I worked. I was home. Every year we kind of go and do like the loop to see our family. So we'll go to Atlanta and then down to Virginia or Florida, depending on where Bobby's family is. And I think we split up a lot of the Christmas shift. I want to say I had like 4 hours that day. So it's like not that bad. But I was scheduled to work my full 10-hour shift the day after. And I think the day after is actually worse than the day of because that's when all of
Mhm.
the holiday,
Yeah.
like
For sure.
crazy travel is really happening. And that was the year too that like a lot of commercial aviation was really taking a hit during the holidays. And so I think we were flying out Christmas night so I could get parked to work my shift the next day in Virginia. And my flight got canceled, straight up canceled. And there's like thousands of dollars to maybe get a flight in 2 days. And I'm like, we can't do that. Like, and I'm like, if we don't go tomorrow, like we're not going to even hit the other side of this trip. And so we rented a car. And I worked from the car for like 10 hours straight. I think we got to Virginia. I had like an hour left. And I would like go through like waves of getting car sick and having to but I'm like sitting on like a Slack huddle, like just locked in my computer. The car we happened to rent like just happened to have a regular plug-in. I could plug my computer in, so it actually lasted the whole trip.
Gee,
Like,
that's a great
amazing
story.
hot
That's a great way of illustrating.
That is Mountain, yeah.
Yeah.
And my whole goal was like, I need to show up and execute. Like I don't want to be the person who's like, oh, I had like some travel conflict. Like, sorry, I can't show up. I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to like execute and get this done. And I was like, I want it to be like so well done that no one knows that I was sitting in a car all day. And so like, I didn't tell anyone until like the next week. I was like, I don't know if you noticed, but
I never even knew that.
day.
I never even knew that.
I told Ryan like the next
Yeah,
week and he
yeah.
was like,
That is a
Yeah.
perfect analogy of like what working at Mountain was like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the best parts was like you could work 10 hours, but you'd be so busy the whole time.
Oh, it flew by.
Yeah, it's
I'm never bored.
yeah. That was almost like one of the best parts was working a lot was actually really easy because to do it well, you had to be super like we always basically like I can't remember if you guys called it this, but like in sales we'd be like, all right, lock into the matrix. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we said that.
Yeah, we were all douchebags on the sales team,
Yeah.
but it was a really fun crew. Like but I would never go back. And the thing is like when you joined, it was at its like peak,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just went.
I think we were
So-
acquired by Wheels Up. Like, I think it was like already happening as I was being hired.
Yeah.
And then it officially like launched maybe 6 months later, and then it was just like this slow decline.
It was still good for a while.
It was,
good
yeah.
for like a year ish,
It
but it
took
was
a while.
slowly getting worse.
Like the wheels were just slowly falling off. You were like, huh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So
And
essentially,
then in the end, I was like ready to leave.
yeah, I think everyone was. So basically, what happened is the company we worked for was doing really well. It got acquired by a larger company. Then that company went public, turned out to be a complete disaster. Which I mean, they're still losing tons of money.
They're
And
still functioning though.
well,
I
yeah,
still know
'cause
some people who work there.
I know. Which is, do you keep in touch with anyone?
A little bit, yeah.
Like, okay, I'll ask you after. But Yeah. Anyways, I'd never go back, but it was really cool. Like I reminisce about that sometimes and I'm like, it was pretty cool at moments. It was also horrible at moments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of, I think you got like the really high highs, but like equally the low lows.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was like I was working really hard to maintain boundaries. And I think I got a lot better at that over time. But yeah, I also had, like, I've never had stress dreams like that in my life. Like I would go to sleep and see the schedule, like see the screens
Yeah.
and
All the
dream about them
red
all night.
on
Yeah.
Foss and all the
Oh
red.
my God, Foss. I haven't even thought about Foss. Fuck me up.
Yeah.
Okay, for anyone who doesn't know what FOSS is, isn't it like the flight operations system or something
Yeah, it was
like
like our
that?
flight management
It was like
software.
it was like this horrible, like a a teenager could have coded that in JSON
But it was the
better.
best software.
I understand that,
in
but
the
it was
Because you then
industry.
switched and it was
Worse.
never as
worse.
good.
But
yeah.
it was still
Oh.
bad. Like FOSS was bad. It was hard to read. It didn't make any sense, and it was ugly.
Yeah.
But-
But once you learn the quirks of like a system like that, you kind of find comfort.
Oh yeah.
And then we made the
great.
switch and I was like, oh, why are we switching?
FOSS.
Yeah.
False.
Yeah, but what you did was really cool. You were basically like a professional puzzle solver.
It was, yeah, I would say, like, if I was trying to describe it in like very simple terms, it's just like Tetris, but
Yeah.
with a lot of money flying
$1 million
around.
jets.
Yeah. And like really angry people.
Yeah. It
Did
was,
you get customer calls? Did they call you?
Yes.
No.
Well, because it was kind of this whole system between sales, flight ops, aircraft schedulers, whatever. What were we? Flommers?
Flom. Yeah.
Fleet optimization, that's what it was.
the optimization specialist.
Oh,
Tuttle.
yes. Anyway, it was always a debate about handling customers once their flight landed in a situation where we were scrambling to come up with a solution. Because it's sticky.
You were always getting it from somewhere. You were either getting it like sales was either annoying you about like trying to figure something out, or flight ops was getting mad at you for doing
Or the
something they didn't
pilots.
like. Oh,
The
dude, don't
pilots
even get
getting
me.
mad at you?
Oh,
Yeah. I will say, like, that is one of the biggest things I took away, was like living in this in-between space of like maintaining relationships and like, I mean, if you break it down, it's like we kind of have competing goals in a way, like between the crew and ops and then between sales, and we're the ones who live in the middle trying to keep the peace
yeah.
and execute as efficiently as possible. So yeah, like I think
Yep.
that's translatable a little bit, but it's a little stressful
Oh,
too.
totally.
Like
You guys were the punching bags for everybody.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a hard time. I mean, even in sales ever, I mean, it's still translatable in sales now. Like people that are not in sales are always kind of like pushing back on sales of, oh, we can't do X, Y, and Z thing. And you're like, my job is to make it happen, not to like, we're trying to figure out how to make it happen, not to say no. And then, yeah, you guys totally were in a tough spot, but it was really cool. It was a really cool team, but I'm glad I like love aspects of it, but I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, it was a really good like finite chapter, but
Yeah.
I think I knew early on I didn't want to stay in aviation forever.
Honestly, for me, it was looking at all of our peers, like older
Yes,
peers.
yes. I
They
was
were-
like, I don't want to become that.
yes.
Like respect, kind of, but not
no,
really.
I genuinely don't think I could have learned more in a job in the first, whatever it was, 4 years of
Mm.
my like professional career than at that place.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Like and it was also for me, especially like I took it to such an extreme that I was like, okay, cool. Like I know I can work this much, but I definitely don't ever want to do that again.
I'm glad you came to that conclusion.
Oh, yeah.
I was worried about you for a while.
Oh yeah.
It was really concerning for a while. Genuinely.
But I look back on that and I was like, holy shit, I was like a machine.
But I'm glad he tried it when he was young, especially when there was nothing else to do, and especially when like things were shut down and whatever. And I'm glad he came to that
Yeah.
realization of like, okay, I could end up just like
Mm.
so and so
people.
and
The
so and
person
so
we're probably
and
all
so and so.
thinking of.
And literally there's like 6 people that we can think of in our brain that all did it for
Honestly,
years, and
yeah.
it was destructive in their personal life.
Yeah. And I think for you, kind of coming off of like collegiate athletics, where you were like, you weren't training anymore seriously,
Mhm.
like this was your thing to lock in on. And
Yeah.
I at least still, even like I entered that time, like running was on the back burner, but it was still a place I was trying to get back to. And that allowed me to like draw some boundaries and
Oh,
have some
for sure.
perspective. And I can imagine if you're like, I'm ready to go all in, it's like,
Yeah.
addicting.
Yeah. No, it was. Well, it was also addicting too because like for other positions, it was so easy to get lost in the sauce and sales of being
Mhm.
like, if I work harder, I make more money.
Right.
And that was like also intoxicating because I went from being like, I don't think I ever had more than $500 in my account in college to then being like, how much did I make this month? But
Yeah.
yeah, anyways, not that money. I mean, then I don't know, yeah, money is really not that important at a certain point. But
I think that
yeah.
sometimes people also get caught up in being like a work hardo,
Oh,
where
that
they're
I
like,
totally did. I
I,
totally got caught up in
yeah,
it
Mhm.
because
you're
it
like,
was also the culture.
yes, yes.
All the people we were around was like, and I was like,
Well,
fuck yeah.
somebody that we worked with would be like, yeah, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night because there was like
They're, like,
there was something that
glorifying that,
happened.
Oh.
And it's like,
I
dude,
hated
like
that.
you could
Yeah.
have let the night ops people do that. Like you didn't have to do that. You
Mhm.
could have been asleep. You could have been, with your kids. You could have been whatever, but no, you did that to yourself.
I think there are like certain types of people that are drawn to these industries with this level
Oh,
of
totally.
chaos. And I like really butt up against that because for me, like when things are falling apart, the only way that I want to operate in that situation is like cool, calm, collected, like execute, get it done. Like I don't want to be emotional about it. And we would work with people, and I feel like you were similar. We would work
Yeah.
with people who like their favorite thing to do was run around with their head cut off.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're enjoying this. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of ready to get away from that too.
Yeah. I feel like it was like the exposure to that type of stuff, though. I think honestly, for me, was so informative of like learning the things that I liked about work and also that I really didn't want to continue. And the way I see it, and maybe just for me personally, like I took it to such an extreme of like how many hours I worked and
Mm-hmm.
all the things. It was so easy to be like, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm.
Like at a certain point where it was like, okay, like this stuff isn't as intoxicating anymore. And like the stupid shit where people are glorifying like being workaholics is not cool.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I mean, I look back on that and I would never want to do it again. But that like I guess like circling back to like the running NIL thing, imagine a kid that is super talented and deserves an NIL deal. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but then they're put into an environment like what we're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
How that's so different.
Well, okay, because
Yeah.
even in like the pro athlete world, like the post collegiate, I don't think a lot of these athletes really know that like being a pro athlete is pretty nice and
Mhm.
easy. Like, okay, you just get to hang out and go for a run and
Yeah.
like cook. And then it's like, okay, well, or you could work some horrible job where sometimes you're working 70 hours a week,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my gosh, well, these pro athletes, like they have it pretty cushy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like obviously we've both been on the side of like making the running thing work with full-time jobs. And I
Totally.
think that really gives you perspective of like what a privilege it is to have support to not have that be the case.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the balance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I guess right now you're kind of in a position where you're like in between full-time jobs and kind of focusing full-time on the running. What are some things that you've noticed that have been different?
Yeah, I think for me, so after Mountain, I ended up at kind of like I would maybe call it like a food tech startup. And I kind of entered that space under the guise that they were exiting their startup era, but turns out there's really plummeting back into their startup era, which that's startups, that's fine. But I would say like I was leaving Mountain kind of like very much like I still need something that works well. Like I still have serious goals about running, and I was still working, in and out of some industry stuff, but I was like, this 9 to 5 situation, I do think will give me more flexibility, more stability. And I know so many people, like you included, who can make it work so well. And like, I think there are a lot of opportunities for that. All that to say, um, as we kind of like, when I joined the startup, I would say about 4 weeks in, we entered like just this downward spiral of chaos. Yeah. Just, I mean, just kind of a precarious financial position that ultimately resulted in, I think they just officially shut their doors a few weeks ago. And I was let go over the summer. And by the time that happened, I was it would have been about 8 months of me like wanting that to like just like being
Yeah.
ready to leave. Like, yeah, things just being like a really tough balance, but still trying to make it work, trying to decide like what would be like a move that made a little bit more sense with the running. And then kind of simultaneously like entering this year of like regaining some serious health and like being able to put together some good training.
Mhm.
So all that to say, like the timing worked really well for me this summer where I was like entering this trail racing season, had a bit of a cushion coming out of the situation. And I was like, this is a great kind of scenario to like spend some time doing this before I figure out my next move. And it's been great. Like it's been a time when I've been able to like do all of those things that we're getting. Yeah, just like I just didn't have time for,
Mhm.
and having to like make those calls. And we've had so many conversations, I feel like, about having to make those tough calls when you don't have time and when the balance is like tipping in the wrong direction. So yeah, it's been really nice. It feels kind of funny because it's like I don't at this current moment have support from a brand. So it's like that's something I'm working towards, but it's like I'm also working towards, yeah, figuring out what my next step is work wise to like also support that. Um, so yeah, but I think what I've learned kind of coming out of probably mountain and this last place I was at is that I think some people are the kind of athletes who kind of value um doing something really different in their like 9 to 5 if they are working whatever they're doing for work, if they are working alongside their running and kind of having those like two separate lives. And I've kind of done that for a while, and I think I've realized like I don't love that. Like I don't love feeling like I'm two separate people and feeling like I have to show up as someone that I'm not in this workspace, while like truthfully like I'm trying to prioritize the running thing because that's what I'm most excited about. That's what I care about right now. And it's a fleeting thing. Like in 15 years, maybe I hope we'll see how long it can go. But it's like that will be gone at least at the level we're pursuing it right now. Um, so yeah, I think for me in my next step, like it's important that I'm doing something that feels more aligned. Um, and maybe that means like working some like doing something that's in the running space, like maybe just even in the health and wellness space, like being around athletes, being around people who care about that piece of the equation.
And who
Yeah.
get it. I
And
mean,
who get it. Yeah.
I know this one athlete, and she has a contract with Nike, but then she also works a part-time job at like a health and wellness clinic.
Yeah.
And her coworkers, like sometimes if it's slow, she'll like do PT. And her coworkers are like, "Oh, that's really good." And they'll like write it down and be like, "Oh, we should show this to the clients."
That's awesome.
And so that's like a really cool mix. And I think there's
Yeah.
definitely stuff out there like that. I mean,
Mhm.
I even feel like for the job that I work, they do care a lot. And me being a high performance athlete is like helpful to the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. It's a
And
great fit.
right, it is tough. I mean, yeah, I mean, having to put on that work phase. I mean, have you seen the show Severance?
Oh yeah.
That's like basically what working at Mountain and trying to have a social life was like.
Yeah.
The thing I was thinking of when you were saying that, it's a really good point because I remember trying to explain to people like how good at running you were, and they just like had no idea.
No, yeah. And
And
it's
They don't
yeah.
care. And that's the thing.
And I'm not you don't wanna I'm not trying to make you care.
Right.
But it's like it's interesting over time how that like lack of understanding, like you feel like you have to like defend your boundaries, and
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. But yeah, when you're trying to like, especially at the tail end of this last company I was at, our local office got shut down and I was commuting like nearly an hour a few times a week, and like
yeah,
drawing boundaries around that. It's like I need to leave on time because I need to go home and double. And they
Mhm.
like cannot get that through their head. Like why
like,
you would
double?
need to run twice in a day.
yeah,
And it's like I'd like to not even tell you that because it's my personal thing that I'm pursuing and caring about, and I'm not trying to be the office hardo that's like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm running twice in a day. It's like I don't need you to care, but I need you to like respect my boundaries. And in like a startup environment where, the message is like all hands on deck all the time. Like it was tough at the end.
yeah.
It's
Well,
also like you don't get paid enough for it.
That too.
It's like I'm not the CEO, I'm not the vice president, I'm not the
Yeah.
CFO.
Yeah.
Like, you pay me for 40 hours a week, that's what you're getting.
And that's been a really, like, I'm sure you felt this too. That's a really interesting thing where we come from these backgrounds of like giving our all the
Mhm.
time to these things we care about. And that was at one time school and running. And then coming to terms with, I'm going to give you 100% in the bounds of like what you're compensating me for.
Yeah.
When like our nature is to give you above and beyond. And I care about these people here. I care about showing up for them. But it's at the end of the day, it's like, it's a job.
You're there for money.
Yeah. And it's like, and it was even like when I took this step into this industry, like I was excited about the product and the mission. And it was like I wanted them to succeed. And that was why I like stepped into that, like this industry. But it is still a job.
Yeah. Well,
Totally.
one thing that I think is actually really interesting, like talking about all this work stuff, is your like journey back to like really elite running again is I would say like really inspirational for a lot of people because it's
unique.
been super like not like super linear, right?
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You end your 5th year, right? That was your guys were the same year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys win national title, you're all Americans. And then you dealt I don't know, I would just love to hear like explain the timeline of like
Yeah.
college success, because even in college you dealt with a lot of injuries too,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
And the
Yeah.
post-collegiate injuries led to some like medical interventions.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's a journey. I'll start with the positive is that as of like August, September this year, like I lapped the first healthy year I've had genuinely since high school, which is like wild to say. And like feels as someone who's trying to pursue running at a high level, like feels almost embarrassing to say. But it's like it's the reality. And I don't think it makes I try to tell myself I don't think it makes my potential moving forward any different from anyone else's. Like my journey was just different. But yeah, so our 5th year, I had like a decent indoor season, but was like, getting ready for hopefully like I was hoping the best outdoor season I would have had. And yeah, like come, I think it was March. I think I was supposed to run like the Stanford 10K the week later, and I like broke my foot like mid track workout. I like did the pity walk back from the track. It was really sad. But that was kind of like that's what I had dealt with most of college was repeated bone stress injuries in my right foot, and it was just like kind of I had like a bunion situation, and my first metatarsal was all out of whack. So it was kind of a biomechanical like imbalance situation. So like went ahead and decided at that point, we've been through this enough times, like let's go ahead and operate on this. And CU, like I'm super grateful they supported me and like helped me through that surgery, which was amazing. But yeah, so then I'm graduating college. I know I'm not done with running, but I'm starting with like a major surgery with like the most recovery and comeback time I've ever faced from an injury before. So I was still training with our little post-collegiate group with Mark and Heather. That was great. Came back from that in what I felt was pretty conservatively, but then I had a bone stress injury in my pelvis on the other side. And that's like unfortunately pretty common when you have a soft tissue surgery. Like I've noticed it's like your other as you're coming back to running, I think your other side is like compensating sometimes when you don't realize. So like that was a pretty big smack in the face. Like I was just getting my feet back under me, then dealing with another bone stress injury. And that, to keep it like Cliff Notes version, like that kind of cascaded me into like this big hip and pelvis journey that I had. I dealt with a lot of stuff. I had like a little stint in 2022 where I think I had maybe 6 months of health. And at that time, that felt so long and I felt so strong. And that was just like kind of a reminder, like all that matters in this sport is health and consistency. Because if I can stack 6 months, like I had some pretty solid road races, like nothing to write home about, but enough that told me like I can still be competitive in this sport. And that kind of culminated in like hip labrum stuff resurfacing. And it was again, like we've been dealing with this for years. Let's get it fixed. And the tail end of that kind of launched me into, as I was coming back from that was 23, launched me into like another year of figuring out some pelvic issues that were like definitely different from anything I dealt with. And I had a really hard time finding the right diagnosis, finding the right resources to help deal with that. And even once I did get it diagnosed, like had a big insurance battle, like it was just a whole thing. And I think these are kind of the post-collegiate struggles you don't think about, because when you're in college, something hurts, you get an MRI the next day. Everything's covered, everything's easy. And what I ended up dealing with was like some pelvic vein disorder stuff, which I had never heard of any athlete, any runner dealing with that. None of my doctors were familiar with it. And then I ended up working with practitioners that were not familiar with athletes, and that was really difficult too. Because in the comeback, I was like, what am I allowed to do? Like, what should I expect? And that was just like a really messy situation that took a long time. So all that to say, like, it was really up and down, but mostly down. Like, it was, and I looked back at that 2022 season, like, kind of the tail end of that year, and I was like, what was the point of that if I was just going to end up dealing with this hip stuff still? Like, and I look back and I'm like grateful I had that snippet, because it kept me like hopeful that I had potential in the sport still. But I definitely went through a lot of questioning, like, why am I still doing this? Like, it's really like emotionally taxing, makes you feel kind of crazy. It's financially taxing,
Mhm.
like,
Oh
to
my God,
to
yeah,
deal with
totally.
all that stuff. Yeah, and it starts to feel really strange when you're like, I'm putting this money into trying to find the answer so that I can go back to running at a high level, and that starts to feel kind of strange and something I had to like reconcile. Um, and to like put it simply, like, I honestly tried to stop. I tried to hate running, like, I really did. Um, and it's kind of freeing when you're just like, okay, I tried to walk away from this. I tried to tell myself like it's okay to be done. Like, you don't have to care about this. And I let that sit, and then the result of that was like realizing, no, I really do care about this still, and I really do believe that I have potential, and it doesn't need to like end in anything, but like I'm not ready to give up. And that was like, so I don't know, like coming to terms with that when I was like comically far from the sport. Like, I could not jog, and I was like, I still think I could be really good, and I still think that I just like care about this so much that I would really regret like walking away. And so like having that belief like at the depths, like then every little like inch that I like crawled my way back like got easier, and then like the little steps like got exciting. And then yeah, I think lapping a year now, it's like I'm starting to get excited. Again, health is everything, and like if I can just keep that at the forefront of how we approach the sport at this point, like, what does 2 years of health look like for me? Like, that's so exciting. So,
Y-
that's my long-winded Cliff Notes version for you.
No, it's really good. Do you look back on that time of injury and like kind of hardship and be like, I'm so glad I went through that, and like it's
No.
okay, okay.
I mean, I don't
Because
know.
some people, I totally, that's why I was curious. Because
Yeah.
some people would be like, I learned so much, and then other people are like, no, this sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's somewhere in between. It's like, I think you do learn in those moments, and the other thing is, like, life is happening behind all of that. Like, I
Mhm.
wasn't just, like, upset for 5 years. It's like I was living my life and like balancing a lot of other things, and like still really enjoying a lot of things outside of running, but still kind of like holding that loosely and still like chasing it. Um so yeah, I definitely don't wish that any of that had happened, but I also don't want to like I think that's been something that's been hard to reconcile coming back to like a higher level in the sport, is like looking at people who have had a pretty clear trajectory and have been able to stack those years and that experience, and like lining up against people like that and like comparing my journey to that and saying, what if like I was more relevant 3 years ago, or like, and also from like trying to speak to brands about, potential partnerships. It's like that is a really rocky journey to like come to terms with. So I'm not like glad it happened, but I'm like I'm okay with it. And I also like, I don't know, I would say like last year when I was like getting my feet back under me, I started to think about like I've been through so much like shit in the realm of like dealing with all of this, that just like running pain free and getting to work hard in the right way is like so exciting to me. And like it's kind of makes it like easier to deal with like the good kind of pain, if that makes sense. I feel like it's a little abstract, but like I don't know, like now the hard work is like not the hard work. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like I've been through stuff way harder. So like getting to do the hard stuff now is like that's the fun part.
So that's something I talk to, like, Val and I talk about all the time because, Val's had her fair share of, like,
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, there was some, like, really high highs, like, sprinkled in for her, but it's like when you think about it, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I always kinda look at it and I'm like, coming back from some of this shit, it's like a superpower because so many of these people, you put a lot of other people in those situations, maybe they wouldn't get back to that point.
Yeah, and I think like you learn a lot about how much you care and how much like you believe in yourself. And like I definitely had like an amazing support system and people who were like if you want this, like we got you. Like we're going to get you back. But like I think there is like a little bit of you have to like believe more than anyone else and you have to like even if it feels crazy and then when you do get on the other side of it, it's like that is so powerful.
Yeah.
I think belief is, 80, 90% of it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've both run amazing races on bodies that were broken,
Mhm.
right? And we've done these things that we physically probably, no one would have said, oh, yeah, that's within your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But it's all in your head. And I do think that going through these really hard injuries, especially if you never let that dream die,
Mhm.
like for you throughout the whole thing, there was moments where you were like, maybe I should just stop thinking about this,
Mhm.
stop pursuing this. It's too hard to deal with. But in the back of your mind, you're like, no, 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 I want to do it. I know
Mhm.
I'm good. I got this. I got this. I'm sure it helped for you, like when you were going through all these surgeries, because it sure helped me be like, you know what, this is really hard right now, but I got this. I
Yeah.
got this. And then coming out on the other side and being able to do some pretty good performances. I mean, for you to be able to win the Moab half marathon after what, like 7 months of training?
So last year,
Yeah,
I got
last year.
second last year.
Oh, second.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, not back to back champ, second place last year. Still, though, that's amazing after like 6 months of training, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, gosh, I was like really running on the ground like August, and that was November last year. And it was my first race in like 3 years, 2.5 years maybe, and my first trail race. So like, yeah, I feel like lining up there, it was like I had probably like zero reasons to believe that I could do something decent, but at the same time, it was like you did the hardest part to get yourself here. It's like this is kind of the easy part.
Yeah,
Like just go for it, you know.
totally. And then, having that confidence, because as we were talking about on some of our easy runs that we've done, is like the novelty of just having a year of training under your belt,
Mm,
that kind of starts to wear off. And then you have to start asking yourself, like, okay, now I have 2 years under my belt or a year and a half. Okay, well, it's not just about stacking the training, it's about feeling really positive about what I'm working towards and not getting too bogged down in these workouts and still
mhm.
savoring every moment because we know that it can be taken away
Yeah.
like that. And I think that that's been hard for me. It's like, okay, last season for me wasn't like a great performance, but I was healthy
Mhm.
and
And you had glimpses of like
totally.
yeah.
And towards the end I started to figure it out and started to feel like, okay, I got this, but the novelty of being healthy for a year, it's like, okay, that's not enough at this point. Like I
Mhm.
have to just obviously work every day towards staying healthy, doing all the little things, trying my best to manage like work and running.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like, okay, how can I be happy doing this? How can I find joy in this?
Mhm.
And even when races don't go the way you want, like how can you show up the next day and still find the positives?
Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, because I'm kind of in that space now where like and I will say the novelty is not worn off. Like I'm still stoked. But at the same time, like I'm also coming up here on like we're both running cross here in a few weeks, and then I'll I think probably take a little break and reset for next year. Which again, novelty to take like a voluntary break, and like that's very exciting. But yeah, I think as you stack that health and training becomes like it's not a question of will I be training healthy next month. I think it is like the little things like we've talked about, like meeting up with people when you can. Like, I think it's funny here in Boulder, like, we have such an amazing community of high level track, road, and trail athletes, but we're all doing pretty different things. Like, for the most part, there are some groups, but like, yeah, it's funny how many of us are like running around doing slightly different things. And I that's something like especially this summer, like I've made an effort, like let's make it work. Like let's
Uh-huh.
overlap when we can. Like for us, if that's like an easy day here and there, and like I think that's huge. Like I I think we're so spoiled in college. Like you're running with people every day to the point where like sometimes I would try and sneak off. Like I don't want to run with anyone today.
I know, yeah.
But now I can't fathom that. I'm like running is an individual sport, and at the end of the day you're getting your training done and that's exciting and enough, but like it's also way more fulfilling to do it with other people. And it's kind of my social time too. Like I
Totally.
don't know about you, but like we're busy and it's like that's my social time as well.
I
So,
agree.
like
Yeah.
that's been huge.
And like you said, there's so many different people. There's road, track, trail, and being able to, listen to other people's experiences and understand like what they're doing and what you're doing and how it might overlap
Hmm.
or I don't know. It's just you're right. There's so many people in Boulder to run with and train with and same. Like I've definitely like last year I ran by myself probably like 300 out of the 365 days. And this year I'm trying to make sure that I run with people like twice a week at least
Yeah,
or more.
it helps.
And it helps so much to just stay happy and to keep finding love and enjoyment for the sport
Hmm.
because otherwise running sucks. Like there are moments where it's like it's raining outside or it's snowing or you have this like horrible workout, super long workout that you have to do by yourself.
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh my gosh, why do I do this?" And then you're like, I love it."
I remember when I was because I was not like the person as a kid who was like, oh, they're gonna be a runner. They love running. Like I hated running so much. Like we would do the mile in PE and we didn't have a track at our school. So we were like running 20 laps on an inside, like around a basketball court or something so stupid. And it was like absolute torture. Hate this. But like as I got into the sport and like really because of good friends and like very fun community in high school around that, I was like kind of making the decision, like, am I going to pursue running at a high level? Or at the time it was softball was the other thing, like my sisters and I were really set on. And I remember having such a crisis about it. And I think I was doing some like silly hard workout in high school, like some 400s in high school. And I was like, why would I choose this one? Like it's so physically painful.
Yeah.
But I feel like I knew that day. I was like, but I'm going to choose
I'm going
this
to be a
one.
runner.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Taylor, she's a triplet.
I am. Yep.
I knew that. I actually knew that.
It's my go-to fun fact. So.
It's a good one. And you're all fraternal,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yep.
So your sisters, well, Brittany is having a baby.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie has foster kids, but
She also has one of her own now too.
she also has a
Yeah,
baby as
so
well.
they're just busy over there.
They're busy making
Yeah.
babies. Are they at all concerned that they're going to have twins or triplets?
Actually, Brittany was a little bit concerned this time around. I think just maybe based on how she was feeling or something. But it sounds like it's not multiples. So someone's bound to. My dad's a twin as well, so someone is
wow.
really bound to.
Is
Yeah.
it like hereditary?
Twins skip a generation, but because my dad's a twin, one of us maybe would.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then you guys are triplets,
Yeah.
so multiples is in the cards.
Yeah. Scary.
Taylor's always the last of her sisters to do anything, though, so the babies are probably far, far down the line.
Not easy to have babies and run at a high level.
No.
Unless you're like Ellie St. Pierre and just like a complete stud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
so awesome.
See, yeah, she ran a marathon. I don't think competitively, but she ran like that all women's marathon. Did you guys see that?
Oh, she did?
Yeah. I don't think she did it like super competitively, but she
Well,
did.
she just raced was it the New York 5K?
Yeah.
She crushed that.
She's so good.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
She's so good.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
She's
We're in the era of like mom strength popping off in the running world. So like
I
if
can't even imagine it.
no, but it's very inspiring. Like we're like, we don't know where we're at with the kids, but like if we do decide to do that and we're still like pursuing running seriously, like I think it's doable. Like it really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I think so too. And I think especially now, women's health is like kind of catching up to the times.
Finally. Kind of.
It's getting there, right? And so I think more and more doctors are actually like giving useful advice
Mhm.
to pregnant people where it's like, oh yeah, you can exercise. Like, oh yeah, I saw a video today of Whitney Morgan, super pregnant, running.
Yeah.
She's
I
like
think she's been running
39
time.
weeks or 36 weeks pregnant or whatever, and she's running. And it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow. Like that's I mean, Marissa Howard told me that she ran every day up until the day she gave birth.
Wow.
And then obviously
Really?
she took yeah.
Wow.
I think it's so individual though.
Yep.
And I think hopefully that I hope we're getting to a place where it's like there's resources for like every experience, because I think it's easy to look at people like, oh, they ran a marathon 3 months later. It's like
That's not-
sometimes that's
yeah.
realistic and sometimes it's not, and that's okay.
It's not, I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, some people, like I think Kara Goucher, like made it to the Olympics like 6 months after giving birth.
Have you read her book?
I want to.
You should. I have it. I can lend it to you.
Ooh, that would be
It's
nice.
great. But she spoke about her experience and being pressured to return
Yeah.
to racing sooner than she was ready. And obviously, she still popped off. But like, I think I don't want to misspeak, but you should read it. But I think she looks back and it's like regrets the way she was kind of forced to handle that, and that's unfortunate. But we've come so far from like
Oh yeah.
where contracts were then, and just the idea of women like, you know, I think it was looked at as like an injury.
Yeah. Like
It was equated
inconvenience.
to like an injury. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that maybe bringing a human being into this world and like breaking your tibia are a little
It's like a
different.
little different. Maybe the support should be like slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. I know, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Taylor is not only a runner and an amazing person in general, she's also a chef.
Oh, that's nice.
Chef Taylor. Taylor was making these YouTube, or not YouTube, but like TikTok videos of cooking, and I think you made like a pasta video once,
Oh yeah.
and it was like the most aesthetic
Oh, thanks.
cooking video I've ever seen. What are some things you've recently cooked?
Oh man. I feel like we kind of go through phases, and it's funny because I find a lot of joy in cooking. Like I love
Mhm.
spending time in the kitchen. I'm still like, there's a little part of me that's like, if I can make my next like job move something that is closer to keeping me in the kitchen, like I would love that. And I think it'd be really fun to balance with running. But for like how much I love being creative in the kitchen, like week to week, it's really hard to have fun and be creative in the kitchen. Like it's kind of just like we got to eat a lot. So, I don't know. I think I will say we got a grill this summer, and that was like life-changing. I don't think I cooked inside one time after we got the grill, so we were just grilling it up all summer.
Do you know how to make a steak on the grill?
Yeah, I feel like we would do chicken more often, but yeah,
Chicken.
can do a nice steak on the grill. Love that. Yeah, but now we like ran out of propane right as like the weather and the time changed to where it's like dark outside now. So it's kind of like, okay, grill season is
It's
maybe
over.
over. I don't know. We'll see.
Sad.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what have you been making inside lately? Made some chili this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like I feel like our go-to lazy meal right now is like pasta and like pre-made meatballs. Like are
Yeah.
quick, you know.
Pre-made meatballs.
Yeah.
Kyle and I crush those.
Yeah, very healthy. Very healthy, like wholesome meal.
I usually make like a huge cauldron of rice.
There
like
you
a
go.
huge
You need a
vat,
cauldron.
yes,
Yeah,
of
honestly.
rice. And then we'll do frozen meatballs that we defrost and like frozen vegetables.
Yeah. That's something that like I feel like in this era of life, it's like sometimes you just need to lean into having some frozen staples. Like
Oh yeah.
it's okay.
You got to get on that Costco grind.
We're not on the Costco grind yet. We're ready. We now have pantry space, so yeah.
Costco's the shit.
I know, I'm
Costco's-
excited.
Yeah, it's the greatest. You can actually save a ton of money too.
Yeah.
Because groceries are expensive these days.
I know. I was thinking back to I don't know what they get now, but like when we
The gold
were-
card.
The gold card. We got $44 a week, and I would buy all of my groceries with that.
For a week.
For a week.
I know.
That is impossible.
You can't do that.
I'm like, do I just eat
You can't
7
even buy-
times as much as I used to? Or
Yeah.
No,
you can't even
things
buy
are
half a
s-
meal now
No,
with
No.
that.
no.
You can't. Like if you wanted, I mean, like you could go to Chipotle and spend $25 on like 2 burritos.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to like go to a Thai restaurant, you have to spend like $47 on 2 entrees.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's like reasonable. Like if you went to a
Yeah.
pricier place, it'd be easier. Like you could spend like $120
Yeah.
on 2 entrees.
Yeah.
It's
I think I was,
wild.
I think we were being frugal in college, but still, like I assume they're getting more now. I hope they are.
I think they get a lot more now.
Yeah.
I think they get like $66 per week, and they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh yeah, they have a
at
little
the
bit more.
Champs.
So yeah, that's good.
Except like on Friday nights, I think. Like it fluctuates around the football schedule, but they get a lot more food
That's
for
good.
free. And then they get like $66.
Keep them fed.
I
There we
know.
go.
Keep them fed.
Wow.
Feeding the kids.
Feeding the kids. Yeah, they're spoiled now.
Oh.
They got that football money. Although that football money might go away soon.
Oh no.
No, well, who knows?
I wonder
You
how
heard it
many,
here first.
I want to know what their season
Inside.
ticket sales is like for next year.
It's probably.
Yeah.
I would bet it's still probably pretty good.
Based on the tickets that were available for today's game, I don't have high hopes.
Oh, you checked?
Yeah. We were like originally looking at going I think they were down to like $30 maybe.
Dang.
Yeah.
$30?
Up until this year we had been doing like the C Club
Yeah.
home tickets because that's like was a really good deal. And this year we just like we weren't I think we missed a lot last year because we weren't really home.
Yeah.
And so we took a look at our calendars. We were like, it's not really smart to do that this year. So yeah, we were trying to get to one game like maybe today, and we looked and they were really cheap. But
Okay, then maybe the season ticket sales are bad. I don't know.
I think it's really dropped.
It's probably tailing off because at first there was like so much hype, and then
Yeah.
last year it was good, so it makes sense that the season ticket sales
and they
would
had
be
some
good this year.
moments this year.
They did, totally.
So I had some hope.
Yeah, I mean they could still come. They could still bring it back, but anyways, I guess I have one question that I'm actually genuinely really interested in asking, pivoting back to kind of running. Did you, when you like started getting healthy and like training again, did you know you were like, I want to do more trail stuff?
Yeah, in 2020 end of 2023. So when I kind of thought I was like sort of exiting out of the pelvic stuff, but really had several more months of dealing with that. That's when I kind of made the decision. I want to start putting my thoughts more seriously towards trails. And that's when I made a coaching change away from our college coaches, which was really hard because I still felt like we had a lot of potential together. We just hadn't had enough time, but I was in a place where still really cared about the roads. I still do. I still have road ambitions, but I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't think my career needs to be like leave the roads forever, then go do trail. Like I was starting to see a lot of people who were having success in both arenas and kind of seeing that like I was really intrigued by the idea that like you can be a better road racer by running on the trails. You can be a better trail racer by running on the road. So I was like, what am I waiting for? And it helped too. Like my husband, Bobby, we met in 2020. So by the time I was starting to be interested, I'd been around the trail scene a lot more than I ever had and been running on trails more than I ever had. So it was, and I made a move to my coach now, he coaches both road, track, and trail athletes, but he is like more trail focused. So it was kind of like a strategic decision in that way. But I'm still in a place now where I have ambitions on the roads, but I think kind of following just my highest interest right now is trail.
Yeah.
And cross at the moment.
And cross, which is kind of track and trail.
It's kind of just the perfect middle. Yeah. I will always run cross if there's an opportunity. I love cross. Maybe I won't say that in a couple weeks.
I think you're going to run the 10K and be
I love
like,
cross.
you'd be like, this race was so short.
It's funny, like I mean, I haven't raced above a 6K on grass, and so a 10K, like I watched the men run 10, and I'm like, oh, that looks horrible. But now I'm like, no, I think I need every K I can get. Like,
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Like if Taylor can crush a half marathon, like a 10K is going to feel fast.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when like some of the girls that we were training with that would do like the road races, but then also do track races? Like after they were done with the road season, they'd come to the track and be like, oh my gosh, the 10K feels so fast.
Yeah.
That's going to be you, except you're going to
but like good fast or bad fast?
Good fast.
Yeah.
Good fast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I did put on spikes for the first time in like since college.
Yeah.
Wild. These super spikes.
Oh yeah.
Did you end up getting dragonflies?
Mhm.
Nice.
They're interesting. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think anything you told me, like I think they take some time to like
To get used to.
they feel interesting.
Yeah, I think if you do
Working on them.
Yeah, if you do a couple strides, maybe do one workout and suss them out, see how they feel.
Yeah.
But then like I don't know. I would just be careful how much you wear them.
That's the thing. I'm like, I think I'm going to wear them like the least amount to be confident that I'm not going to die wearing them for a 10K.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Don't they have super shoes for the trails?
Yeah, that's kind of I'd say like the super shoe scene on the trails is like where the road scene was like several years ago, where like
They're kind of
not everyone's
figuring
in
it
the
out.
same spot. Yeah. And I mean the trails are interesting where like saying this as someone who's only been on the trails for a year, so it's my opinion. But like there's kind of like such a spectrum of terrain that like I think they only make sense in certain situations.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, because you're kind of I mean, at least based on like what's available right now, I think there are a lot of prototypes that like are not available to everyone. But I'd say what's available right now, like you're sometimes sacrificing like stability and being able to like feel the trail with a plate in there. But I think it just depends on like the kind of race you're doing, if you're willing to sacrifice that. Honestly, Moab this year I raced in a plated shoe, and I raced in that last year. Um, and I felt last year like it's definitely not stable enough over that terrain. But I think, yeah, coming into this year, like I think my technical skills had improved a lot to where I was like, I think it's worth it for like the part of the course. Like I was like, it's a trade-off, but like I wore them and I was happy enough in them. So yeah, it's a little bit, it's not as black and white as like everyone on the roads is obviously wearing a plated shoe.
Yeah.
Like it's a little,
yeah.
It makes a ton
different.
of sense. Because, like, if I could see if there's a part of the race, like a long part of the race where you're scrambling
Mhm.
and, like, basically hiking, I could see that maybe you would just want something that you could really get really grippy in and feel really good in.
Yeah. Or like technical descending. Like
Mm.
there's a section in Moab, there's like a 2 or 3 mile descent that ends. I mean, you're like, you're using your hands to like drop yourself down like a really steep canyon, and like kind of leading into that, like that's the part where I'm like, I would feel more stable in a different shoe, but I felt stable enough and I felt like more confident on that terrain that I was like, I think I can handle myself in these shoes. And ankle tape also helps.
Oh, so
there you
you,
go.
like, taped your ankles
I
up?
did. I don't all the time, but and I hadn't in a while, but actually approaching this race, I went and did my pre-race and I actually wore the plated shoes to like kind of make a last minute decision. Do I like the way they feel? And I was like, oh yeah, it's like a lot like less stable out here than I remembered. And so I decided to tape them and I was glad I did.
Nice.
That's so wild. I mean, I guess it makes a lot of sense. Because even just, like, I was doing some fun trail running earlier this year, and just because we're pretty close to, like, the lower Mesa trails and the
Yeah,
upper
you've
Mesa
got some
trails.
good stuff down here. Yeah.
Totally, and so all I have to do is cross Broadway, and I'm right there, and I was running up to the upper Mesa trail, and there were definitely some times where there was, like, gravel. It wasn't really, like, a smooth dirt trail, and I remember thinking as I was descending, like, "Oh my gosh, people race down stuff way worse than this."
Yeah.
And I'm worried about my ankles right now, and I was actually wondering if people did anything to try to stabilize their ankles, but it sounds like it's pretty common.
Yeah, I think people, I'm sure people like, I mean, it's just probably up to like their preference, but yeah, I think Moab has some really rocky and a lot of like annoying sand.
Yeah, I heard about
Sections.
the sand. There's,
Yeah.
like, a dried riverbed?
Yeah, and really the whole thing. I remember this year thinking like, man, this is sandier than I remember.
Well, it's all sandstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like slick rock. So it's just like there's just sand kind of everywhere. It's just like sand and rock. Um
Running on sand sucks.
it sucks so much.
Yeah.
In the I did 150K this summer and there's like there's like a half mile on a beach and I was like, why? Why are we doing this?
On the sand?
Like the rest of the trails were great and there was like some like nice amount of technicality, nothing crazy, but I was like, this half mile of sand is gonna kill me. This
Yeah.
is horrible.
Do you think this summer you would be interested in trying to do any of the trail races in France, like in the Alps?
Yeah, so this summer, I'm still thinking about kind of where I want my season to go, but I'm like my big goals are to like really be on more competitive start lines and in the sub ultra like sub 50K space, that's generally the Golden Trail series.
Yeah.
And that series is all over the place.
Mhm.
Generally they'll have 1 to 2, I hope 2 races in the US. I hope 2 this coming year. And then yeah, they'll be all over the place. So I think it'll be what makes the most sense like course wise, travel wise. But yeah, I think that'll be like what I build my time around. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think they announce hopefully in the next couple weeks. So I'm not sure where any of that will be, but I'm excited to see. I've never raced internationally before, so that's also like um yeah, like a learning curve that will be there. And this summer was also kind of an interesting scenario where I made the decision early on, like as I kind of saw like I'm staying healthy, I'm putting together a full season. But I was like, it just doesn't make sense for me to go race internationally this year, from just like a logistic financial like standpoint. But that really limits your opportunities as a sub
Totally.
ultra trail athlete. Yeah.
Yeah.
that time of year. So it was kind of like that worked for this year, but it's like if you want to be on the most competitive start lines, like you need to, get yourself over there.
I think it's very common. I mean, well, not very common, but for athletes like you and me, you outgrow some of the races in the US. And then there becomes like a handful of races in the US that are like, okay, this is competitive enough that I'd want to do it. And then after a certain point, it's like, well, if I want to be able to toe the line with the best people in the world at this event, like I got to go overseas.
Yeah, like you have to go do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are a handful of great high level tour races in the US. But then if you look, just at the sub ultra level, like there's really only a handful.
Exactly.
And
it's not like you can do all of them.
Right. And the timing, like sometimes the timing also does. And this year was funny for me too, where I didn't have, like I hopefully do now have a bit of a better running resume, in that space, but I really didn't. And like I wasn't able to get into like one of the big ones that I like would have wanted to do. And it's funny coming from like the road circuit where like, like I don't think I could have gotten into like a major marathon, but like I was able to get into like a lot of the other road races that I wanted to. And yes, like as soon as you enter like another pocket of the sport, it's like starting from ground zero. They're like, we don't care what you did on the roads. I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah, well, it would be really cool. I mean, have you ever been to Europe?
I have not. Yeah, I know.
You gotta
And
go.
that's the beauty of the sport too. It's
Yep.
like, man, like how cool is it that part of that job or whatever like is getting to travel and do all of that. So
it's really cool. It's really cool. And like, honestly, sometimes traveling for like a running event makes it more fun in a way because then you have something to do and you're there with purpose. But it can kind of be like, oh man, like I went all the way out there and I didn't like do anything.
Right. You have to like tone down the tourist mindset for sure.
But I feel like with trail running, it's different, right? Where your race is so much longer, and I feel like you can you're in cooler places too. Like usually for the track, you're just in a city, but for these races, like you're in the mountains.
Yeah, like you're definitely getting to, I think, explore a little bit more.
Totally.
Like even if that's just your runs out there.
Exactly, which is really cool, and it's like beneficial. Like, oh,
right,
I need to go check out the course or whatever.
Yeah, and like train on that kind of terrain. Yeah, I mean that's the cool part too. Is like, and I think this also like maybe depends on like potential level of support in the coming years, but like being able to go spend a month in Europe and like prepare on that kind of terrain because it is different
and do multiple races.
Yeah, and being able to link up some races without the travel back and forth would be huge. So
yeah, that flight is hard.
Yeah,
and it's definitely. I mean, from the time that I've been able to do this, your first race in Europe, you might feel pretty jet lagged, but then if you stay for a second one 2 weeks later, you definitely feel way better.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
What is
to learn there?
Oh, sorry. So is it always like 50Ks like for these races, or is it vary like every race is different?
No, it varies. So it's actually like generally like a lot less than 50K.
Okay.
It depends on the race, depends on the year, but really the distance that like I'm most intrigued by and where a lot of the Golden Trail series kind of ends up sitting is that like 2 to 3 hour race distance, which could be a more runnable 30K, could be like a more mountainous like half or something. Because I've run like sub 30, like more like 15 to 25K, and I've run 150K. So like I haven't actually lived in that space, but I think like I would love to do something where the intensity level is like slightly like a half notch down from like a half, where you're just like there's a little bit more to it than like you're just going all out, but not quite a 50K. Like I remember in the 50K, I was like in the first couple hours, I was like, man, I would like love to rip these a little bit more, but I'm just like making sure I survive in 3 hours. Like you have to be like more measured. So I think, and of course in a 2 to 3 hour race, you also there's like a certain level of you have to be careful. But like I think that's a really intriguing like racing distance. But I think it varies like year to year. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's exciting. Yeah,
and I'm like eager for them to release that. So I can figure it out.
Do you have your passport? Is it up to date?
It's actually not. Well, I'm in this like funny.
I have to update mine too.
It expired this summer, but I'm in this funny thing where like, okay, you said my name at the beginning. My legal name is Tuttle still.
Oh, sorry.
No, but I'm like, I say I'm like socially Peavey, and I'm like gonna change it, but we've been married for 3 years, so like when am I gonna change it? But it's like you gotta line it up. You gotta
Yeah.
do your passport at the same time. So maybe I'll change it legally before I update my passport for the summer.
If you want to be PV Tuttle or if you just want to be PV, either way, like,
Val's definitely not changing her name.
yeah, sorry.
For me.
I like my
Val
last-
Constein rolls off the tongue. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Valerie Lewis is an old lady.
Whoa,
She's not me.
come on. Oh yeah, I don't think you should change your name.
Well, it's tough with like Val ends in an L and Lewis starts with an L. Like that's always a tough.
Oh, yeah.
Val Lewis,
you
yeah,
know?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Val Constein is a cool. I think it's a
It's
cool
good.
name. It's definitely cooler.
Powerful.
Lewis is like a, I don't know, not a very exciting name. So
You could take her name if you wanted.
Yeah, Kyle's
I don't know. That it is a cooler name, but I think everyone would be like, "You're kind of a weird dude for doing that." I'll hold off, but it's a good idea. Okay, so then I guess last question. So you also want to do some stuff on the roads as well?
Yeah.
Do you have like any like specific things in mind? Like, oh, like next, Olympic trials, I want to do the marathon, or is it more just like I want to race on the roads?
Kind of both. I kind of last year was like pretty intentional. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have like a spring road season and then transition into trails. And that didn't quite go to plan. Like I had a pretty subpar single outing on the roads, actually like really, yeah, tough time. And then body like wasn't quite responding to that the way I had hoped. And so just had to like switch things around. And that ended up like pushing back the start to my trail season. And then kind of looking at this year, I was like, there's actually some spring trail stuff I'm like more excited about. So like coming into this year, I was like, I'm gonna really prioritize trail, not gonna like swear off the roads for the year, but like I'm gonna build everything around that. And if and when it makes sense to throw in the roads or something like cross like this, I'll do that. Beyond that, I do want to run, like I do want to run some serious marathons when I feel like ready and excited about that.
Mhm.
I don't want to force it. But then it's, yeah, kind of a funny thing with the trials. It's like, yeah, I'd like to be at the 28 trials. What I don't want to do is like run a marathon just to get a trials qualifier. Like I don't want to go out and run 2:36:30. Like I want to go and I want to do a marathon block when I'm ready to run as fast as I can run.
Yeah.
And I'd like that to line up so that I can be at the trials. But
Yeah.
it's like, then you start to do the math and it's like, well, that's kind of,
It's soon.
I guess that needs to be like the year after next, which maybe I'll be excited and ready to do that. But I think it will depend on how the next year goes. So I don't know. Like I could see if I don't feel like forcing it the year after that, depending on where everything is, I could see just trying to qualify with a half and then like running at the trials. And yeah, maybe like making that the really serious block or like doing that and then refocusing on it later. I don't know. But yeah, I think I've had some fun in like the sub half distance. I've run a road half twice and they've been like two of the worst races I've ever run. So like I haven't figured it out. Maybe third time's the charm.
Yeah, maybe.
The road half is like oddly elusive to me. I don't know why.
It's pretty fast.
I
And
feel
it's
like
not
it's
that
so
long.
hard.
Like,
It's so different.
You just have to ride. Yeah. And I think the first time I did it was on the tail end of that 2022 road season where I had like two pretty good races. And I ran like, I did like a 10 miler and it was like, I think I ran like 5:25. So I was like, I think I can reasonably run like 5:30s for 3 more miles, and just went out and blew up.
mm,
So I was like, I don't know what's happening. And, came off of that with all the hip stuff. So revisited the distance this spring and it went so similarly. Like I don't know. Like I went out. I think it was the US Road Half Champs, and I knew I wasn't going to be competing for the win or anything, but I was like, I want to be competing kind of like mid pack here. Kind of got lulled just into like a 5 flat second mile, and I was not prepared for I was not fit for that. So then it was like a couple miles later, I was like, I don't think this is how you should feel 5 miles into a half. It was a death march. So
that'll
we'll
happen.
nail it someday.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
I
I
don't
need
even,
to have someone being like, slow down, Taylor, slow down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, it's interesting. Still figuring that one out. So
yeah, I feel like that's the thing when you get like post college and you start doing things off the track. Like everything is so different.
yeah.
Like you have to like relearn it.
Yeah, and I think like I was kind of like early on surprised on the roads in 2022 where like I like immediately did pretty like fine, like
Yeah.
pretty well. Like it went well. I was like, oh, I might be better at these longer distances. Like this might be nice. And then it was like, oh, maybe there's more learning to be had here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to die though to figure it out.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think this spring too, it was like my body was like 90% there, but like I was dealing with just like things were like a little bit off. And I think, yeah, it was like maybe should have like shut down and just got ready for trail stuff instead of forcing it. But it's hard. So you want to be on a start line, you know?
also some of these races are exciting and you're
Yeah.
stubborn and you like want to do them.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I
that
feel the
was-
same way.
I did that too because it was in Atlanta, which is where I'm from. So it was like got to see my family. Like they don't host it very often. Although I do think they're hosting it again this year.
Maybe it'll become a regular thing.
No, probably not. Not this year.
Not this year.
Not for me this year.
Not for
yeah,
Taylor.
maybe they'll keep doing it. But
Well, we've been chatting for a while now. Kyle, do you have any more questions?
I have one. I
Okay.
actually have one last question,
Okay.
like running related. I don't know. I think this is interesting. And then we can probably wrap it up. But one thing I was thinking about, because I remember when, Val was trying to get a sponsor and you were talking about that, like, how is that? How, like, now that you're coming back into like being like really competitive in this whole scene, like, has it been like easy to figure out, like, okay, if I do X, Y, and Z thing, I should be able to, attract a thing, or has it been super like, how the fuck do I get a sponsor?
yeah, I would say somewhere in between all that. I think that was something that was tough this year where I was building this calendar, like first and foremost, trying to get experience, trying to like see what I liked and like compete with what made sense for me this year. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I also want to be showing up at competitive enough races to eventually work towards that. And yeah, like I probably sort of knew at the time, like if you're not able to get over to race internationally, like you may not be able to be doing the things that matter enough. And then now starting to have some conversations with brands at the end of this year, like my eyes are being opened more to like these are the start lines you need to be on. You just need like a few more results. And it's not like, oh, if I had known that last year, then I could have done things differently. Because I don't think I could have done things much differently than I did them just in my circumstances. So I feel like I have like decent resources in my corner in terms of like people who are able to like tell me what might matter, help me with that. But I think it's probably not too dissimilar from the track and the roads where like it's not black and white. And it's interesting as well in the sub ultra space where like at least for like the time being, like I'm interested in really like below 50K, like some 50Ks maybe, but like that's kind of an interesting space with brands. You've got your ultra focused brands and like that's pretty obvious, right? Like Western States, UTMB, Western States qualifiers, like it's not hard to like do the math there. But like what people are interested below that and like who's even interested in people below that, like it's really brand to brand. I think there's been a little bit more interest and I hope there continues to be in that space because I think it's really exciting. Like it's a really fun piece of the sport where it's like, yeah, we're not running 100 miles, but we're running at a really intense level, like on these like crazy courses. So yeah, it's been interesting. I'm learning more. But yeah, not black and white. But I assume that's just kind of the case across the board.
Yeah, I mean, my impression is, especially in the last, say, like 5 years, it's become more and more kind of, there's all these different factors that seem to like affect things. Whereas I feel like, 15 years ago, it was like, if you're X, like competitive, you'll probably get a deal. And now it's like, how many followers do you have? And all, I don't know. It's just something really interesting to me.
Yeah, I was kind of worried, like when I was a little bit more removed from it all, I was worried like I don't have like a big following at all on social media and it's not something I've like put much effort towards. And I was like, do I need to be putting more effort towards this? To like set myself up for that potential. And I do feel like I've been somewhat encouraged by some people in the sport who have kind of said the reality is that like performance is still first.
Yeah.
And that's what I've heard from brands too. Like performance is still first. And I definitely like I wouldn't mind partnering with a brand at some point that's like, oh, we have like these low level social media requirements. Like honestly, that would be easier than trying to like force myself to do it myself. I do think that's for a lot of brands still where the value mostly lies, and I hope that continues to be the case.
Yeah. Well, running like social media is also kind of odd because like you can only post so many like pictures or videos of you running.
Yeah.
But they do want it. Like,
No, for sure.
I know a Nike athlete who was like in a position where they were changing things around with coaches and stuff. And Nike told them they hadn't posted in like 4 months. And Nike like reached out to them and was like, you need to start posting about us, Nike, on social media. And then this person, like after that intervention, started posting a lot more. But yeah, I mean, even Nike, they do care about your social media presence, at least, posting whatever a couple times a month and like tagging them.
Yeah, I think like fulfilling some requirements like makes sense. It's like that's where we're at. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's where you're getting like
It's a part of the sport now.
And I think also if you're coming into a relationship with a brand where you do have a following, like they're certainly going to take advantage of that and probably have more of an emphasis on those requirements, I would guess.
Definitely.
I don't know. Yeah. They're like, well, you have 100,000 followers, so please post.
Yeah, exactly.
And they probably post a lot if they have 100,000 followers. So
at least the ones that I know of.
I don't know.
All right. You want to finish it up with our typical ending segment?
Oh, yeah. So at the end of our podcast, we have a segment where we ask our guest if they have any conspiracy theories that they'd like to share.
Oh my gosh.
So Taylor,
Yeah.
do you have any conspiracy theories?
If you don't have any, that's totally fine. We can come up with something. But Val's super into conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's sick. Wait. The thing is, I feel like I'm always really intrigued by them, but I don't know that I believe any.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you don't have anything.
If you don't have any, that's okay.
Yeah.
But anything, like the pyramids were built by aliens, like anything, the more absurd, the better.
Okay, let me think. I don't know. I mean, this isn't really a conspiracy, but like thinking of aliens, like I definitely think they're out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've probably heard from them. We just don't know, right?
That's great.
Do you think so?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I don't know.
Is there any like thing specific that they might have told us?
Oh, I have no idea. They haven't told me.
Okay.
Hasn't there? I feel like there's been a lot. Like the government's really been releasing a lot more stuff about aliens, like in the last like year. But
I
because
feel like there
of
was a lot last year.
Yeah, but because like all the other crazy shit happening in the world, it's been
Right. It's kind of like
blown under the radar a little bit.
Well, I actually have a conspiracy theory about all of the like
All right,
alien stuff.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I think that like the aliens are real by like the naval pilots and stuff. I think that was a psyop to hide the fact that like the government was like testing all those drones. Remember the drone thing that was going on?
Oh, on the East Coast.
Yeah, they're like, they're drones the size of SUVs over military bases.
Really?
And like
I
the
missed that.
alien stuff was coming out at the same time. I think the alien stuff was a psyop against the drone stuff. So that's
Okay.
my conspiracy theory.
Is this
I think that's so believable.
Is this a personal invented conspiracy theory, or did you read about it?
Okay, well, when it was coming out, when the alien stuff was coming out, I was very skeptical. I was like, this feels like a smoke and mirrors thing. Like, what are they trying to sneak by us? Because this is like too crazy. And so then then the drone stuff was coming out, and then I was like, I think maybe something weird's going on. But I did actually read on a conspiracy Reddit thread that it was a psyop, and so I believe them. But I had my own inkling.
Reddit is the source. Okay.
Yeah.
Val spends way too much time on like conspiracy theory Reddit pages.
I do.
Okay, Kyle, what's yours?
I don't know. Right. I mean, there's so many. I had one the other day that I was thinking of. I actually think I saved it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. But let me see. I think I saved it on Instagram. Hold on.
You saved it. So you're giving me crap for seeing like conspiracies on Reddit, but you're saving them on your phone?
I feel like I just scrolled past like some like it was like 5 dark conspiracies about I don't know what it was, but it was like
Did
they
you
were
read
really
it?
yeah, they were like really depressing. So it was like one was like existence is like I don't know, like I don't even remember, but it was just they were all really depressing.
You're like, yeah, these are 5 dark conspiracy theories.
was like, I don't even know these are conspiracies. These are just like really dark thoughts.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, those are interesting at times, but sometimes they put me in sad girl mood.
I
Like
know.
usually,
I was like, I want the cats back in
yeah,
the house.
show me the cat.
What the heck?
I don't think I can't find it. I don't. Maybe I didn't save it.
Well,
But
can you think of one off the rip?
off the rip, I mean, I will disagree with the conspiracy theory. Like, have you heard I think this is a dumb conspiracy theory, to be honest. Have you ever heard the conspiracy theory that the pyramids are like some sort of like energy, like weapon or source?
I love that one.
I think any conspiracy that they're not just what they are is
Yeah.
kind of dumb.
Yeah, like I
They
don't
were
think
just trying to make it into something they're not.
Yeah, totally. Like thinking that a bunch of pile of rocks is somehow some like super sophisticated like ancient energy source is like what the yeah, that doesn't make any sense to
It's
me.
like, probably not.
Yeah.
I love that conspiracy.
Like, that's my number one.
That is my number one.
Well, it's like, no, there's a lot of substance to that really makes sense.
I'm holding my tongue. I'm holding my
It's like
tongue.
ready to debate.
But I love that one. It's
I do
definitely my
think
favorite.
okay, on the pyramids, I do think it's pretty interesting how they accomplish building those. But
Amazing.
I don't think that I think that they're so like if you go to Europe, right? Everything over there, the architecture is just like beautiful. And it was like the time of like kings and queens where it was like, it doesn't matter what it costs. We just want to build beautiful things. I think probably the Egyptians were like the same way. And they're like, why don't we just build some like dope ass giant piles of rocks? But I don't think they like had any purpose besides maybe like burying like, pharaohs or whatever. But anyways, yeah.
I think you need to watch a couple YouTube videos, my friend, because I can change your mind on that one. But
Aren't there like conspiracy theories around Denver airport stuff?
Oh my God.
those are good too.
I don't really know any of them, but I like the lore.
Val's getting horny over there. She's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, those are good.
There's some quality right there.
Those are some good ones. I do love a good DIA conspiracy theory.
There's
They're good.
yeah. Well, I mean, like they think the Illuminati has like a center underneath like the Denver airport, right? That's one.
That is one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Lucifer, the blue horse, like killed its like maker, which adds to like the general weirdness of the Denver
Oh,
airport.
he like fell off or something.
Yeah, I think
He
he
got
just fell on.
squished.
Yeah,
He got squished by the.
I'll
Yeah.
get you.
and
Yeah.
then they put like weird red eyes in
Yeah.
the horse, which is just odd.
And there's like miles of tunnels under the DIA because they
That
used to
kind of
have-
thing that freaks me out.
No, it's
But-
real because they had a baggage, a very sophisticated like baggage.
They spent like $20 billion on a baggage system that like
didn't
didn't work.
So there's like miles and miles of
that
tunnels.
feels like classic DIA.
I know.
That
It's
airport
actually,
is
like,
the worst.
No, I think it's great now. I love DIA. I think
It's starting to get better.
They,
I-
like,
I just don't like the train system.
Yeah, I hate the train.
that's so funny. That's like the kicker for everyone.
well, I
Yeah.
saw an old man.
Big airports need trains.
Yeah, but like
Have you been to the Atlanta airport?
yes,
Yeah.
That train system really sucks.
that's
And
true.
that's like that was my home airport for a long time. So this is like a treat.
that's true. Yeah, that train
Yeah.
does suck.
I do wish because in Atlanta you can walk between the terminals as
Yep.
well, and I do think we need a way to walk.
I
'Cause if the
agree.
train
That's what I'm
breaks-
saying.
If
Yeah,
the train stops, then we're all donezo.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
That,
that's kind of scary.
that airport literally wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You
Did it-
literally you
you couldn't-
couldn't get anywhere
Yeah.
outside of like the specific terminal or like
I mean, same with like Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City doesn't have a train, and you have to walk from terminal to terminal, and it takes ages. And so I think that it needs to have like a walk
like an
option, and a train option.
I do think I remember one time flying home in college to Atlanta, arrived stupidly late, like midnight or something. And I think I was injured, so I was like on crutches or something. And the train was broken. And I was crutching for like an
oh,
hour.
jeez.
I'm sure
I was on like Terminal E or something.
that is nightmare.
Yeah. So that's the downside. I was like, I think I'd rather just stay and wait for the train.
Yeah. You could have hailed one of those like golf cart things.
I really should have.
Yeah. Missed opportunity. It's
I
okay.
know.
It's crazy.
That's
I
too
feel like-
embarrassing though. It's happening. You're like, I'm not gonna do.
But there's like people on the golf carts who probably could be perfectly fine. But then in a situation like that, when someone's actually injured, the golf carts are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. I think it was really empty at that point.
It was
too.
too late.
Yeah.
All the workers had gone home.
Yeah. My poor sister, I think, had come to pick me up and she was like circling. I was like, it's gonna be a while. Like
Jeez,
keep
yeah.
circling. Oh no.
That was nice of your sister.
I know.
Come pick you up.
She always did. So nice.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to everyone who's stayed around and listened to this entire podcast, thank you so much.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were yapping.
We were
Thanks.
yapping.
We were
It's so
yapping.
easy. I don't know how. Like keeping podcasts under an hour is really hard.
I say we probably could have talked for 3 more hours.
Easily.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
I understand why Joe Rogan's podcasts are like 4 hours sometimes.
I like long podcasts.
Me too.
I listen to them when I run,
Mhm.
do groceries, chores. Honestly, I probably need to spend more time in my own head because I'm just like, oh, put a podcast in.
Yeah, this
It can be good, but we did hear some feedback that it was too long. But I'm glad that we
from my dad. Shout out my dad. My dad was like, I don't know, man. I think 45 minutes to an hour, that would be the sweet spot.
so one person, but it has been fun to make some longer pods, especially like when the conversation's flowing. It's super
Yeah.
easy. But yeah, definitely kind of as the outro, we usually say thank you to our people who are watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. And to everyone on Spotify, thanks for listening. And if you want to give us a rating, that would be great. And if you have any questions, drop a comment. We have Tayler here. If you'd like to see her come back maybe after her summer series, let us know. We can definitely have her back on the pod if she wants.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a post cross pod.
Yeah, we could do
Maybe
a
an
post
on-site
That would be
Ooh.
fun.
live something. Yeah.
That would be super fun. We could do a cross pod and we could have all the different CU athletes trickle in and
Yeah. there you go.
say some stuff.
It would be
or-
cool if it was team based.
That'd be so sick. We would definitely.
We
I
would
think
crush
is
it
your
as a team
whole
together.
well maybe Tabor, not Tabor, but everyone else is probably
Tabor
racing
could do it though.
in the top 5. Or top 6. Everyone's doing it besides Tabor. I don't even know.
No.
Tabor might be doing it.
Because Sage and Danny would do the 2K. But
Yeah.
if Sage
Oh,
and
They'll be
Danny,
there,
okay,
though.
fair.
they will be there.
But maybe they're racing it. I mean, who knows? Maybe
I
they're-
doubt
okay.
Sage is racing a 10K. I highly doubt it.
Well, yeah, I would highly doubt either of them would.
I think Danny
Because
could
they're
crush a 10K.
8,
Yeah.
15. and
Low
6.
key. I think she could crush a
Good.
10K.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
she's probably also doing the 2K. But if we had a CU alumni
That'd be so fun.
like team, we would win, I think.
Yeah.
Post collegiate.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the CU alumni who are still running post collegiately, I think we have one of the best alumni squads ever.
That'd be sick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. It would
everyone
be
from our
cool.
top 6 is still like running
Yeah.
competitively.
And Mackenzie. Yeah. like
And
essentially
she was
there,
our
too.
alternate.
Yeah, it's actually such an insane team. Like,
was
and
an
all
insane
you guys
team.
are still really good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I love that we're all still running and still love
I
it.
know.
Like I think that was like part of
Special.
the essence of our team.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. We had something really special going there.
Yeah, yeah. When you look at like the depth of that team, it's so crazy. Actually,
Yeah.
it's insane.
So cool.
Anyways, everyone should go follow Tayler.
Tayler.
What's your handle?
It's Taylor with Lime on Instagram.
Hell yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. Also, any sponsors? I low because
Yeah.
it's going up.
Yes.
Sell high.
Yep.
Well, no, don't sell.
Don't sell. Just keep buying.
buy more,
buy,
buy more.
Yeah, Taylor's great. She'd be such a good person to sponsor, genuinely. Like, she cares a lot about aesthetic and she always makes everything she wears look good. So,
Oh, thanks.
even if you're a goofy A brand out there, Taylor will make you look good.
What? All right, I like it. All right, well, Taylor, thanks so much for hopping on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
That's
thank
great.
you. All right.
Cool.
Peace.
Later.